Hey guys, it's Jake and welcome to day 16 of learning to program in Ruby. I'm working on a series of GIMP tutorials right now, so if you're interested in graphic design at all, make sure that you don't miss out on that. After that, I'll be doing a series on JavaScript, so if you're interested in programming at all, make sure to subscribe. Today we're going to be revisiting arrays, and we're going to go into them in more detail than we did the first time. So let's go ahead and type in our first array, and we're going to make that variable name number_array. And we're going to set that equal to, let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4. So go inside and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you don't need your quotations for numbers. Go ahead and below that, let's do our string array. And we are going to set that equal to, just pick out 4 random names of people you know. That'll be good enough. So I'm going to do Fred. I actually don't know a Fred. So whatever. You're free. Open reign. Fred, Jeremy, and Frank, and James. Now let's go ahead and put out our arrays. So go ahead and write puts, and we're going to do number array and puts string array, and then go ahead and save that. And let's pull that in. So you can see here that it put out the array, and because we used the word puts, it put each individual one on its own line. So if we'd done print, we've covered this before, but if we'd done print here, it would have put that whole array out on one single line. Let's just do that. Okay. Now again, to refresh our memories, if we wanted to target a single item in our array, we would come down, we would do our brackets, and then we would do, say, the number 2 to target the third item. So if you save that and then come back in here and pull it in, it's only going to put out the third item that's listed, so Frank. So let's suppose we wanted to target the first letter within our third item. What we would do is we'd come down right after the 2 and we'd put 0. And what that's going to do is it's going to target the first letter within there. So if we hit save and pull that back in, hit enter, it's going to just give us our F. Playing around with these arrays a bit more, we can actually just target this number array, a single item. So let's say we wanted to target that 3, we'd just write 2. And if we wanted to multiply that by any number, we could just write our multiply number, and then we can set it equal to, say, 3. And let's save it. And then let's pull it in. And hit enter. So it gives us 3 times 3, which is 9. So let's dive deeper into this. Let's say that we wanted to put an array inside of an array. So we could put a few arrays inside of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put our square bracket here and a square bracket here. And then we're going to do a comma, and we're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to put another square bracket there, another comma, because we have to put commas in between each item. Did we miss a comma here? No, we missed our square bracket there and our comma. And we can get rid of that there. And then we need a square here, and we could do 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, stop at 12. We're just going to do 4 items within. And then do another comma. We're going to do 4. We're going to do 4 arrays within our array. Create that now. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So making sure you have your commas in between each individual array within your array, and then your square bracket on the outside. And now if we come down here, puts number array, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to multi-target. So what we will need to do in order to get to the, let's say we're going to target the third item listed in the first array, we would need to write 2 as we've already done. And then we want to target the second item within the third array. So we want to target 10. And what we're going to do is type in a square again, and we're going to put 1. And then we're going to want to times that like we did before. We're going to want to times that by 5. Okay, that way we can see what it's giving us back. Go ahead and hit save, and then let's pull that in. Hit enter, and it returns 50. Okay, so what it's done is it's gone to the third item in our array. In our first array is this overarching one right here. So it's gone into this one right here, the 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it's gone to the second item within that array, which is this 10. And then it has times that 10 by 5, and it's returned 50. Rather than just adding a bunch more names, let's just create 2 arrays with the current array we have. So go ahead and put your square bracket there, and then put your square bracket that direction, put a comma here, and then let's come to the end, square bracket there, and square bracket here. So now we've created 2 different arrays here, one that has Fred and Jeremy in it, and the other that has Frank and James in it. So if we wanted to target, let's say we wanted to target Jay and James, what we're going to need to do is target the second element in our first array, which is this item here, so we'll write 1. And then we need to target James, which would again be the second element within that. And then we want to target the first element in James. And in fact, let's just target the E in James. So we're going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go ahead and write 3 right there. And that will give us back the E in James, these 3 in a row. Watch as I save it and pull that in. Hit enter. So it has returned the 50 from before, but it's also returned that E because we've targeted that item. Alright, let's go over one other thing. What we want to do is we want to output the first initial from each one of these items in our array. So let's just go ahead and get started. If we wanted to just put out each item in our array, we could just do puts and then string array, string underscore array, and that would end up putting out each item. But we want a little bit more control. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a .each loop. And if you remember from the prior lessons on .each, then this should be pretty easy for you. So we're going to do string array .each. And then we're going to do our curly braces, and we're going to create our item right here, and we're going to make it X. And so now we've created X as each one of these here. So we have Fred and Jeremy, and let's go ahead and change Jeremy so that we have different initials instead of 2 J's and 2 F's. So let's change Jeremy to Tim, and let's change Frank to what's I name? Isaac. Okay, and so we'll know that it's F, T, I, and J, and it's returning the right things. So we're going to go back down here. Now if we were to just do puts X right now, it's just going to see the Fred, Tim, Isaac, and James, and it'll output all of those puts X. So you don't need to do this, but I'll just show you. And then let's go ahead and come up here and just mute these out for now. You can do that by making them comments. And it's just putting a hashtag in front. And so what we need to do is get rid of our puts and do X.each again, because we're going to be looping through it again. And then we need to make a Y item, put our Y in there like that. And then we're going to puts Y, so we write puts Y. Now if we were to go from here and write, and we could get rid of that there, but if we were to put this out right now, so let's go ahead and just show you. Start command prompt with Ruby, and then pull in array 3. Hit enter. It's still giving us Fred, Tim, Isaac, and James, but it's actually putting out each one individually as its own. So it's looping through. It's looping with this first each. It goes through, and it says Fred and Tim, and then it says Isaac and James. So it'll output both of those, and that's with that first X. And then with the Y, it's now that we're breaking it down to .each, what we've done is we've created each item within one of these as its own. So now we've done, now what it's doing is it's putting Fred, then a second command loop through is doing Tim, and then a second command is doing Isaac, and then a third, and then a fourth it's doing James. So it's actually taking longer. So even though if we were to output this right now, go ahead and hit enter there, it's giving us Fred, Tim, Isaac, and James, which is the same as if we'd just done puts string array. It's actually going through each time, each iteration. So each one of these is its own command, Fred, Tim, Isaac, and James. So that means that if we come back in here and we were to do 0 here, then what it's going to be doing is it's going to be putting the first item of each one of these in here. So do F, T, I, and J, and you'll see right now. So I hit save, and then I pull in the array and hit enter. F, T, I, and J. Perfect, exactly how we want it. Okay, so to drive this point home, what we could do is get rid of that there, and we can call out the third letter in each item of our array, of our arrays. Go ahead and save that and pull that in. And hit enter, and it's giving us the third item in each one. So it's E, M, S, and M. Okay, I think that's it for today. Excellent job. I'm glad you guys have made it to day 16. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in learning Java at some point in the future, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and share it and like it. I really appreciate it. It helps me out, and I will talk to you later.